It's so nice to have you here, Richard.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for dinner.
Pleasure. Lovely dinner. It really was a lovely dinner.
I'm glad you liked
I
it.
loved it. And I loved also chatting with your dad as well.
Yeah,
Great. The stories from the Far East are amazing.
they are. And it's great that he remembers them.
And also your knowledge of the Far East is pretty impressive.
Well,
So I
I
learned
need
a lot.
to keep
actually.
some of it in mind.
I learned a lot.
No, I'm always interested in where I come from, what my culture is. It's important.
Definitely.
And I guess it is for you. So one of the great things about having you here, Richard, is that I don't get to talk to many gentlemen about their experience of going to Grey. Let's put it.
My mother would be very happy hearing you refer to me
Yeah.
as a gentleman.
Yes.
Okay.
So I wondered if we could talk a little bit about that. I mean, how was it for you when your hair started to change colour, and was it something that you were conscious about?
Very conscious,
Yeah.
but I think it happened quickly. And I just think I went from, I think I had a lot of stress. I had a lot of stress from the age of about 26. Business, maybe marriage.
Maybe marriage. Yeah.
Just a lot of stress in the family.
Okay.
I think there's obviously the gene.
Yes.
And I just think that I went white very quickly. I think I'm not really, I was working so hard for so many years, everything's a bit of a daze anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think it went that way, and it just happened. And obviously you're not happy about it happening, because it does make you think, oh, what's happening?
So what did you do about it?
Well, I did lots of stupid things.
Such as?
Like dyeing it.
Oh, okay, let's talk
yes.
about that.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
What did you do?
Well, I just gave my friends a lot of entertainment. It's the truth of it, and they to this day will rib me about it, because obviously a guy's got got short hair, so it's not ideal to dye, because obviously the roots come through very quickly, and it all went pear-shaped because I do a lot of sports. I'd go swimming, and obviously with the chlorine that doesn't help, so you'd end up with hair that just wasn't right.
And your friends noticed?
Oh, I wouldn't say that they just noticed. They had a field day at my expense.
And how long did this go on for?
Oh, well, long enough.
Okay.
Long enough.
Okay.
But I was so I tried it.
Would you say you were vain, Richard?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Well, then why else would you do it?
I don't know.
But why else would you do it? Why else? There is no other reason.
So were you trying to keep younger, keep looking?
What, for the ladies?
For yourself, for the ladies? What was the motivation?
Well, I don't think you have to be honest about these things. Why do we want to look great or good or whatever? Well, I don't do it for my male friends.
Okay.
Well, I can assure you.
So did it help with your lady friends,
I don't
the
think
fact
so.
that
I
you
don't think so.
were covering it up?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think probably the opposite.
Okay.
Probably the opposite. I think that they're looking for different things.
So
I think the colour of your hair isn't high up on
Right.
on their list of priorities.
in fact, it probably had the opposite effect. In fact,
Listen, I'm sure lots of things had the opposite effect with them, but it certainly didn't do me any favours.
so when did you finally realise that it wasn't doing you any favours?
Well, I don't think it was like a specific. I just think I just gave up. I just thought, Zykozun, enough. Just get on with it, and short hair. But it's like anything. Some people grow a beard for a while just to try a beard out, or they grow their hair long, or they try a different hairstyle. People try all. I mean, this just happens to be what I tried for a while. But I see some pictures sometimes from the past, and I go, please get rid of those pictures, because it doesn't do you any favors. It's much better to have the natural look.
Okay.
Much better.
Because it's natural. Because you're
it's
being
natural.
yourself.
Yeah, because it's natural. It's natural. It's natural. So just do it gracefully. Enjoy it. Have a nice haircut. And enjoy it. Make the most of it.
And so when you started to be natural and embrace it, did things change?
No.
No?
No. Apart from the fact that my friends were not able to have their usual entertainment.
Okay.
But other than that, but then, obviously when you've got close friends, you're used to the banter. It's just part and parcel of.
But do you think it might have been part of acceptance of yourself, maybe, and acceptance within this group of friends that you had that was like,
No,
Richard's got grey hair.
No. It was nothing ever to do with my male friends. It was, you want to try and still think you look attractive. So you think, well, grey hair, white hair is not going to help. That's what you're thinking.
Okay.
And you say,
But it's funny because actually, I would say that generally men have a better experience of going grey than women do.
oh, definitely.
I was on a bus, actually on the tube the other day, and this gentleman, we got into conversation about his grey hair, and his comment was, in the Bible, they say that the man with grey hair is the wise man. What would you say to that?
Well, you always get his distinguished look, and you hear that all the time, and it can have that. But I do think that.
Do you feel it?
If you look a little bit older and more mature and experienced, and you have the grey, they can go together very nicely.
So do you feel that goes for you?
Well, I'm not young anymore.
Okay.
I'm 57.
Okay. So do you feel that you're wiser?
Do I feel that I'm wiser?
Yeah.
Well, I think all of my friends and myself, we've had more experience.
Yeah.
We've lived through all the mistakes that we've made, and we've realised how much, not only that we've learned, but how little we do know, and how much we've still got to learn, and it's just a journey.
Exactly.
So it's just part and parcel of the journey. I mean, that's the reality of getting older. You realise how little you know. That's the reality of getting older.
But how do you feel? Do you feel okay with that? That now you're at this point, and that you've got this fantastic, may I say, head of hair, which, by the way, is better than not having hair.
I think.
For some people feel that way. It's better to go grey than to grow loose. So.
I mean, I am happy that I still have hair.
Okay.
And I'm happy when Yariv at Foam, you probably know him, tells me that it's still growing well and it's still strong and healthy.
Yeah.
I'd much rather have that, because I have tried having very short hair just because I enjoy not having to worry about it. And literally 2 seconds and I'm done, because that's really what it's about for me. And it's really quite interesting when you do shave it, when you have very short hair and you then suddenly go into the cold, you do really feel it. So I think you need to have a certain length so you don't feel that cold, but a short length so that you can dry it quickly and just get on with what you're doing. So if you go swimming or you go do a water sports and you get wet, you can get moving. Also, the problem with what I've found with white hair is that because I swim a lot, the chlorine can affect it.
So what do you do about it?
So what I do is I buy that, it's like that purple shampoo. I don't even know what it's called, but I have that, and that's the only shampoo that I use, and that's just to make sure it doesn't get any tinges of
kind of
yellow or
yellow.
whatever.
Yeah.
So, and that works really, really well. That works really well.
But what about your experience of now that you are embracing your greys? Let's not talk about your friends, because they're friends, but the man in the street, your general experience now. Do you think that people treat you differently now that you are obviously grey?
No, they treat you differently because you're a bit older. So you obviously, everything about you is different. So you are going to be treated differently because you're older.
Has anyone ever offered you a place on the tube to sit down?
I thought we were friends. Now you're being cheeky.
Okay. Has it happened?
No.
They've never happened. No. And if somebody did, how would you feel?
I feel awful.
Why?
Absolutely awful.
Why?
Because I am still, thank God, fit. I can swim a mile without stopping. I kite, I windsurf, I sail, I do everything, all the sports, going snowboarding on Saturday. I would be horrified.
So you're just living like you always did, you just have grey hair?
Yeah.
Right. So what?
Yeah, no, I've got no issues with it now.
Yeah.
It's not something that bothers me now.
Yeah. And what about if your friends who are maybe still not quite there or are there, what do you say to them about, if they were thinking about how it feels for them? What would you say? What would be
I would just say the most important thing you need to do just do some exercise. Keep the belly down. Try and keep a little bit of definition. You're getting older, it's going to be harder, but just do some sport.
Yeah.
Don't be lazy. Get up. Go and do some sport. Because if you're tired, it doesn't matter how tired you are, if you go and do some sport, you're going to feel way better afterwards. Do some sport. Dress correctly for your age. Don't dress like a schlock. And that's what you do. That's how I see it. Just, you can put a shirt on.
Yeah.
Okay, you're not 15, you're not 16. Put a shirt on. Try and keep the belly down to reasonable proportions. Do some sport. And as I say, there's Zygosen.
And live well.
Zygosen.
That's great advice, Richard. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And thank you for the dinner.
You're
it was
welcome.
amazing.
You're very welcome.
Okay.